It wasn't a popular thing to do in a police department, but they found that this person who had been imprisoned didn't belong there because they identified the correct person, and they fought after that to get this person released. So it's a matter of scheduling to get them in. So we have some really neat stuff coming. Um, that said, uh, an invitation we'd like to make is we would really like to go down the road more of doing some unsolves and some missings. Starting here locally in
Hmm.
Kentucky probably is the easiest. Um, so we've talked and met people at like Sandra Hasty's vigil before, which comes up in May. We'll try to maybe get some pictures this time to share what that looks like when she has that victim's vigil. But if you are interested in, if you have a missing case or an unsolved or something with suspicious circumstances, don't hesitate to email us at murderpolicepod@gmail.com, and we can start to talk about whether it would be a fit for the show. I think it's a great opportunity for people to talk about family members and loved ones. If nothing else, we can give them a place where they can just talk about who this person was, other than a count or a statistic. And I think that's just super powerful stuff. So missings and suspicious circumstances and unsolves, we would love to work with people. So again, that's murderpolicepod@gmail.com. Shoot us some details, and me and or Wendy will get back in touch, and we'll work with them and see if we can start producing. I just think it meant a lot for um, Michael Gorley and KJAX to have that out. And of course, the unsolved case that we covered that made me want to look at more would be the murder of David Kelm here in Lexington, and what it was like to sit down with his mother and his sister, and again to hear who David is.
Well, and ironically, we often talk about how things with murders or different cases somehow, sometimes intertwine with others. And ironically, new listeners, Angie, my friend that was murdered, was married to David. And so it really came full circle in that, I remember getting the phone call from Angie and they were divorced, of course, at that time. But when she found out that David had been murdered, which, as you said, is still unsolved years later, and then they had two children in common and are together. And just to know that both of those children lost both their parents to
Exactly.
murder.
Right.
And so, yeah, you're right. I hope that we can. Jessica, like any mom, deals with this. Not that his sister doesn't, but that is so hard on Jessica every day.
Right.
She makes a post about that. And I mean, we've talked to her one-on-one, and we know
She's
what she's going through.